I guess. I have to poop, I have to poop. Get me some more drugs. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my birth story. I gave birth during COVID, so it's going to be a little bit different versus mamas who gave birth last year. And I was going to say after, but who knows when this craziness is going to end. I have a feeling this is kind of the new normal. If it's not going to be COVID, it's going to be Jovid, you know what I mean? My birth story actually starts the day before I gave birth. I woke up on July 2nd. You know, I felt like maybe I peed myself. I still almost had 3 weeks to go. And I know pregnant people can pee themselves. All kinds of weird stuff happens with our bodies when we're pregnant. So I wasn't 100% convinced it was my water breaking. But I contacted my nurse and let her know what was going on. Told her, you know, I really don't want to go to the hospital in case, you know, they send me home. It's just like a whole process going to the hospital, and going to the hospital during COVID, it just didn't sound fun at all. I didn't want to do it. And plus I was super nauseous my entire pregnancy. I was hospitalized for it. I threw up every day. Nothing helped me. I tried it all, and I just have a very sensitive being to hormones. It happens with birth control too. So anyway, I'm not wanting to go to the hospital and be sent home. My nurse sympathizes with me and says, okay, but if it happens again, you need to go get checked out. And I said, deal. I had a massage and a chiropractic appointment that day, so I continued with my appointments, went there, and the moment I got home, which was about afternoon time, I had another gush of fluid come. So I was starting to freak out a bit. I started texting my partner. He was like, oh, it's early, they're gonna send you home. You know, we're both thinking that it's not happening, you know, it's not time. And so I also called my mom and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the hospital, get checked out. They're probably gonna send me home, no biggie. And she's like, oh no, Kaylina, what if you gave birth on the way to the hospital? Granted, the hospital is a legit 10-minute drive, you know, and I'm not having contractions, anything like that. But my mom is, you know, overprotective mama bear, and which I love her for that. So she dropped everything, came over to my house, and drove me to the hospital. So during COVID, the hospital I'm giving birth at, they only allow one person to be with you during this. So we wanted to make sure that if she came in there with me, that they were gonna allow my partner to come in there later once he was off of work. Look who's joining us, my fabulous co-host. Say hello to the people. What's up, bros? All right, where were we? So I'm trying to drive myself to the hospital. My mom isn't having it. She rushes over here, she takes me to the hospital, and we confirm with the staff the COVID policies about only one person being in there at a time. And they said, yes, it's true. We let them know that, you know, my partner, he is at work, and he will come once it gets closer to time. He'll be able to leave and be there for the birth. But if they would allow my mom to stay there with me, then we would happily let her stay there. I didn't want to be by myself. Who does? My partner sells fireworks every year. These are the busiest days of the season. Usually it's about a 2-week season every year. The second, third, and fourth, those are just like, they're just slammed. And it's his own business, so he can't just drop it and not be there. He had to be there. Our little baby boy wasn't due until the end of July. We thought we were in the clear. We said so many times, as long as he comes after July 4th, we're all good. And what does he do? He comes July 3rd, but that's all right. It was perfect. Everything worked out exactly how it was supposed to. So the hospital agreed to let my mom sit with me and let them switch out once my partner got off work, and we just kept him in the loop the whole time. If I got anywhere close to being ready to go, he was gonna drop everything and head there. He was only about 10 minutes away from where the hospital was anyway. So we get all checked in, and they confirmed that my water did break almost 3 weeks early, and he is my first little baby. We weren't expecting that, you know, and this little guy, he just does things on his own terms. I want to experience the whole labor process. I knew I wanted to get the epidural, but I also knew I wanted to kind of wait and see What are contractions like without it? What, you know, what's this all about? Let me tell you, those contractions were painful. At first, I was like, oh, like minor cramps, easy peasy, like maybe I don't need the epidural. Oh no. No. Then they really started to hit. And I tried to walk around, get on that ball, move around a little bit. I was this close to getting into the bathtub, but eventually they got so strong that I was like, I am about ready for that epidural. And so in between those moments and getting the epidural, my mom and boyfriend switched out. So now my partner is here with me. They come in, give me the epidural. He's holding me, he's comforting me, all that good stuff that, you know, our men do for us. I got Cosmo fed down in his swing. He'll probably join us later. But let's continue with the birth story. I'm really scared. You know, you hear all the horror stories of the epidurals, but it wasn't bad at all. It was over really quickly. I didn't have pain. I don't feel like I got back pain from having an epidural. And then once you have an epidural, you're obviously just stuck in bed. By this time, it's the evening. I'm trying to get some sleep. Charles is trying to get some sleep too. Bless you. So I actually get some decent sleep after I have the epidural. It takes a lot of the pain away. I'm able to relax. I'm able to sleep. Around 5 a.m., I started feeling these contractions. I'm like, I thought I had an epidural. Click, click, click. And I could just feel it all in my left side, into the front. And I'm just like, oh my God, what's happening? And it's because I went from 5 centimeters to 10 centimeters in 30 minutes. That was about 6 a.m. I woke Charles up, baby's getting ready to come. I start pushing. It feels like, before all this happened, I was like begging for them to like carry me and put me on the toilet. Cause I was like, I have to poop. And they're like, no, that's what you feel like when you're about to start pushing and having a baby. I was like, no, I promise it's not that, I promise. And they're like, you can't get out of bed. They asked me if I feel like I'm ready to start pushing, and I'm like, yes, I'm ready. And they're trying to get my doctor there. They're getting the stirrups, they're getting my legs up, they're getting Charles up, he got the leg. They're kind of coaching me how to breathe and push because of COVID. I didn't get to do any of those kind of classes. But your body knows what to do. You will know what to do, and just listen to the professionals. And if you're like me and you had 2 professionals kind of telling you to do 2 different things, just pick one of them and listen to them. And so my labor nurse, she was right here. And so I just like focused on what she was saying, and I did exactly what she said. If she told me to push hard, I pushed hard. If she told me to stop pushing and just relax, that's what I did. If she told me to breathe, that's what I did. I just listened to her. She was amazing. It felt like he was never going to come out, even though they kept saying, you're doing so amazing, this and that. Once he dropped down, I can feel that pressure. I'm not feeling like every single thing because I have the epidural, but I can feel the pressure. And then once he started crowning, I can kind of feel him down there crowning. Charles is over here snapping videos and pictures, which I'm so honestly grateful he did that now, because we didn't discuss that. We didn't talk about it. He just started doing it. But it's so special, even though they're pretty graphic pictures. Obviously, it's childbirth. It's special for us to have. Once baby started crowning me and Charles, well, I'm already obviously in tears. Charles is already working up some tears because it's getting close. We're emotional. I'm in pain. Baby comes out. And it's like the most unexplainable moment ever. And I'm so glad that Charles got that on video. I honestly didn't think that I'd cry, but I'm just like trying to put myself back into that moment. There's just nothing like it. And they place my son on my chest, and like, I'm bawling, Charles is bawling. And then Charles takes a ring out of his pocket and asks me to marry him. And it was all just beautiful and perfect. And all the nurses were just like, oh, and they just thought it was so beautiful, and it was. He couldn't have picked a better way to propose. And it's kind of funny because he's had this ring for a while. He asked my parents for their blessing at Christmas, you know, 6 months prior. He always had these plans to propose. We booked this romantic getaway, massages and the spa, this little weekend getaway. He was gonna propose there, and then we woke up deadly ill, and we were stuck in bed for the whole trip, so that didn't work out. And then he was going to propose at our baby moon that we booked like 3-4 days in Vegas. He was gonna propose there, and then COVID happened and we had to cancel that trip. And then we were like, okay, COVID, probably gonna take a couple months to clear up, whatever, we'll push our shower out as far as we can. And obviously that didn't happen. We didn't have a shower. And so, you know, he was planning to propose there in front of all the family, you know, make it a whole thing and special, and that didn't work out either. I don't know how long he had it planned to propose the moment Cosmo was born, but it was just perfect and special, and I'll never forget it, and he really is the best. So my active labor was for 6 hours. I pushed, I think, for about 2 hours. Baby was born at 8:14. We had our first latch well before 9 a.m. Just from the jump, Cosmo and me had an easy breastfeeding journey. He latched instantly. He's never had a problem with latching since then. Cosmo was 6 pounds and 12 ounces when he was born, and he was 19 inches long. He has his dad's beautiful lips and nose. My recovery was, I would say, fairly easy. I got one of those Freedom Mom recovery kit type of deals with the witch hazel and the little bottle squirter thing, and ice packs and all that kind of stuff, and I think that really helped with the healing process. I stopped bleeding after 2-3 weeks. I didn't have a lot of pain. I just kept staying on like ice pack, witch hazel, all of this stuff. I just kept doing it even if I felt all right. He's being cute over there. And so my recovery was fairly easy, and I'd have to say, thinking about what I expected birth to be like and what it was like, I could have never predicted the emotions that I felt when my son was born. I would definitely do it all over again for him. He is just he's that missing piece in my heart that I never knew was missing. I always knew like having kids and this whole experience was gonna be a big deal, life-changing, all that stuff, but there's no way to explain it until you are in it and going through it yourself. It's so unexplainable, and it's so beautiful. On a lighter note, I didn't poop during birth. My partner, he still had, you know, a day of selling fireworks to do, a day and a half. So he had to get back there, and which was totally fine. Me and baby were going to be at the hospital being taken care of, and we totally weren't expecting them to let my mom and him switch out again, but we decided to ask. We're like, he has to go back to work. Is it okay if mom comes here and stays with me for this day, and then dad will come back on the last day and take us home? And so that's what we did. So dad was able to finish out that last 24 hours of working and wrapping up his yearly business, you know, which is for us, for our family, for Cosmo. And so I was 100% supportive of that. I know it was a sacrifice for him to kind of be away for that little bit of time. It was also very special for my mom to be able to come and share these moments, because we always pictured it, my mom and my partner being in the room going through the whole journey with me, but because of COVID, she wasn't able to be there the whole time. So it was really special that she was there at the beginning and there afterwards. Yeah, and then we got to go home, and the first couple nights home is always kind of like nerve-wracking, but it just felt so good to be home, to lay in our own bed, to be here with our son, to begin our new journey. I mean, looking back now, I was thinking like, oh, what's life gonna be like when we get out of this freaking hospital? And now I have this little life, this little baby to care for and keep alive. Life is forever different, and it is. But now I can't picture my life without Cosmo at all. Like I'm getting ready to go back to work in the next couple of weeks, and I can't picture that either. I'm like, how am I gonna leave my little guy? But he will be home with his dad, and luckily my work is also being flexible with COVID, working from home and all that stuff. So I'll hopefully only have to go like to the office like on a part-time basis, and I won't have to be away from my little guy while he is this young. Cosmo was born on July 3rd and my birthday's on July 10th, and we also got to pick up my boyfriend's daughter on July 10th as well, and she's just amazing. She's the best big sister ever, and she's just the most wonderful little girl ever. And so she got to meet her little brother on July 10th. That was really special. All right, guys, so that's my birth story. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about our journey. I would love to hear about your guys' journey. Go ahead and share in the comments below. Subscribe if you would like to, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.